Hi everybody, this is Denise with PurplePaperParadise.com, and today I'm going to show you one of the tricks that I use with some of these smaller elements that you have on an SVG file, like the 5 cents and even this Smith Seed Company. It kind of help getting those things cut out properly. When a lot of times it seems like when we cut these small things out of paper, even if we get a good cut on them and then you go to put them on the card, they don't always look so great. So I've kind of developed a couple of other little techniques that I use for these smaller elements. So right now I've got this strawberry seed packet up on the screen. This is from Lettering Delights, and it is from the, gosh, what is the name of it now? Oh, In Bloom SVG set, which is really cute. And all I've done was bring in the file here, and then I separated and put everything on its own layer and colored in the layers so that we could take a closer look at some of these smaller elements. So one of the ways that I handle small things like this is that I actually make some of the cuts, instead of out of paper, I make them out of vinyl. Vinyl cuts really well on just about every cutter, and I've had a lot of success cutting it out with my eCraft. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to go through the layers and determine what I want to cut out of paper and what I want to cut out of vinyl. And the leaves here on the strawberry can be cut out of paper, so I'm just going to hide those. The strawberry layers, the two colored layers there, can be on paper. Now this layer here, I'm going to move it over to the side here, is a little bit tricky because even if we get a good cut out of this, you see there's lots of little pieces on the inside of these letters that even if we cut it out of paper, it can be kind of difficult to get it to look quite right. So I think I'm going to cut that one out of some green vinyl. Now, also the yellow and the white layers can both be cut out of paper. So now we're left with this black layer. And one of the things that, since I'm cutting this strawberry label out of vinyl, I can certainly cut this black layer behind it out of vinyl as well. But with the strawberries, because I'm going to do those two colored layers like this one here that get layered on top of it, I don't really want to cut these strawberries out of vinyl because I have found that it's not always the best thing to do to try and adhere paper to vinyl. If you put vinyl on top of paper, it works out great, but the other way around, I don't know, I just haven't had a lot of luck with it. So all of these elements are black, but I only want to cut part of them out on paper and part of them in vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and select these here, and then I'm going to do a split, which is this icon down here. And what that's going to do is it's going to take each one of those shapes and separate them. So now you can see, and actually I'm going to move this strawberry down because it kind of overlaps the other label there, and I don't want it to when I go to cut because that'll just cause a mess. So now I've got this strawberry here, I've got this label here, this 5 cent, and then we've got this Smith Seed Company down here, and they're all separated now so I can individually click on each one of them. I'm going to go ahead and take this label and this strawberry here, and I'm going to go ahead and join these together. And to do that, we select this icon right here that says join. So now when I go to move these around, they will move together. And I'm going to go ahead and undo that, and I'm going to put that on its own layer so that I don't get that confused with everything else that I want to cut out. So I'm going to hide that. Now I've got my 5 cent and my Smith Seed Company. And one of the things that I could do if I wanted to is I could move this 5 cent closer down to the Smith Seed Company so that I cut it out and save some material. But when working with vinyl, I find it does work out a lot easier if you keep those things separated, because then when we use our transfer tape, everything is lined up the way we want it. So I'm going to go ahead and leave those two separated the way that they are right now, and I'm going to join those together here as well. So now I've got over here I've got a green that I'm going to cut in vinyl, and I've got a black that I'm going to cut in vinyl, and everything else is going to be cut out in paper. So I'm going to go ahead and get all these elements cut out for you, and then I'll show you how I put this all together and what the final product looks like. Thanks. Okay, so now I've cut my elements out of vinyl, and I already weeded them for you. You can see the strawberries there, and then the 5 cent with the Smith Seed Company down here. And this really is, this type here is maybe 1/4 of an inch tall, so that kind of gives you an idea of how small this is and why cutting it out of paper is really not a great idea. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put these vinyl onto the white layer from this die cut. And I've got some transfer tape here, and I'm just going to go ahead and cut off a piece for this right here. And I'm going to just place this directly on top of the vinyl. And I've got here like a plastic scraper that I'm just going to use to kind of rub this on so that we can get the transfer tape can pick up these vinyl pieces. And then we're going to go ahead and see if we can get the backing to release. But I'm going to really rub this on good because I want to make sure, since it's so small, that I don't have an area that doesn't want to come off. And it seems to help too if you scrape it in various directions and everything. So not yet. See, that one's not quite coming up yet. Let's see how this is doing here. Doesn't quite want to seem to come up. I might have, oh, there we go. There we go. You just kind of need a little bit of a gentle touch with this sometimes. The 5 cent does not want to come up yet, so let's go ahead and really scrape that. See if we can get it to release, and there we go. So now we have our final elements are on the transfer tape. So now we're going to take our white layer and we're going to go ahead and line up where we want this. And that looks good right there. And now we're going to go ahead and scrape again so that we can get this to all release from it. And it helps to sometimes have this scraper here with you in case you see a part that doesn't want to quite release. You can kind of use that to get it to come off. But this looks like it's going really well. So there we have it. We have our vinyl on our white layer. I'm going to go ahead and put that to the side. Now I have my black layer that goes behind the strawberries, and I'm going to go ahead and take another piece of transfer tape here and just do the same exact thing. Let's see how that goes. There we go. Except it didn't want to pick up one little insert piece. There it goes. Now we got it. And now I'm just going to go ahead and place it directly on top of this black layer. And there we have it. So now we can go ahead and finish putting this die cut together. And there you have it. Now, tomorrow I'm going to be using this same exact SVG set with these same small elements to do another technique that I do. And I'm going to put both of these together into the same exact card so you can, I'll take pictures of them side by side so you can see vinyl versus this other method, and you'll get a real good idea of what is a method that you would like to use in the future. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.